Tonight, the Broncos travel to Marathon Stadium for Sunday night football. Your commentators are Peter Sterling and Ray Warren.
Thank you for joining us at Marathon Stadium along with a crowd of about 28,000 people to see the match of the round, one of the matches of the year. Newcastle taking on Brisbane. Tremendous atmosphere. The Knights humbled by Canberra. They come back before their home crowd under the leadership of Paul Harrigan. And can they do it against Brisbane? Bill Peden in jumper 27 comes into the side. Adam Muir will start the game from the bench with a heavy bout of the flu. There's the Knights side. Langer takes the Broncos out. Some changes to their lineup. This is a case of fourth place third today and Brisbane are fourth. O'Neill, Saylor, Renoff, Lockyer, Hancock, Walters, Langer, Lazarus, Driscoll, G, Ryan, Brett Green in 35. Darren Smith the back of the scrum. David Manson in charge of the #1 game of the weekend. So Newcastle starts from left to right, and today, of course, without Matthew Johns. Adam Muir from the bench is a more recent withdrawal. But Matthew Johns is out of this side for Newcastle this afternoon. That is a body blow as Hancock is put down inches inside the touchline and a penalty has been given. Against Ainsko, there's the new boy playing 5/8, Michael Egar. Broncos. First set of 6, or in fact their second set. The first came to an abrupt ending. They've played the other two heavyweights in the competition so far, Canberra and Manly, and came away on the end of a fairly significant hiding. They'll be trying to rectify that today against the other heavyweight in the tournament.
Newcastle struggled against Canberra last Friday night, so they've had their problems against the top side. And if the Knights can win this particular game, the first mistake is made by Kevin Walters and cleaned up there. Darren Tracy will be quite an achievement for the Knights. Both Jamie Ainsko's had problems during the week. Robbie O'Davis pulled out last night. There's only a phone call this morning that put him back into the team. A less than ideal preparation.
The Knights now just outside the 20-metre line with McCormack. Egar working an angle and then put away is Paul Marquette. Newcastle looking dangerous. McCormack away. And Marquette gets it on. It's away from Egar to Johns. They go out to Grogan. Grogan, he had an opportunity. The pass was ordinary. And referee Manson has ruled a double knock on.
Some nice touches early in this game from Billy Peden. Here he is again backing up. That's Marquette to Egar. The long cutout pass wasn't well directed to Grogan. Pretty ordinary attempt on that. I thought that could just about have been play on. I don't think Renoff touched the football.
Brisbane now. Ball out in front of O'Neill. They stretch it quickly from the scrum that went down 10 metres out from their own line. And this is Lockyer. 27 metres away from the Brisbane line. Hancock takes a dummy half play. Hancock struggling to play it. I thought that might have brought a penalty. He was up ready to go on with it and got pulled down again.
Let him up, boys.
Darren Smith just beyond the 40-metre line. A topsy-turvy start to his career with the Broncos for Darren. But he's holding down the number 13 these days.
Very bunched, the Brisbane side, as Langer looks for some space in behind the front line. Robbie O'Davis read it beautifully. That's an ordinary sign for the Broncos at the moment, so early in the game. They're not getting any width in their attack.
Well, that is Grogan. He's left the right of the ground to work on the left, and a penalty has gone to Newcastle. It's against the Broncos marker. He's indicating that he didn't stand directly in front.
This was Kevin Walters there at first. Marker not getting in front of the man and kicking at the football. That's a pretty good kick for touch there from Andrew Johns. Finds touch 22 metres out, so some good field position early for the Knights.
Just looking at Robbie O'Davis, he's had one run and he's taking a while to recover from it. The ball is played by Peden, and McCormack does a bit of dancing before using Andrew Johns, and Johns, their playmaker, out of this play, so they take it ahead with Tracy. Darren Tracy just outside the 10-metre. Got a pass off. McCormick on. Andrew Johns across, looking to link up. But Darren Smith is there with Alan Langer to put him away. 18 metres away from the Broncos line. Through O'Davis. Long ball out there for Ainscough. Question mark on the pass. The pass comes back in from the winger, Ashley Gordon. And referee Manson is going to put a scrum down for the knock-on.
Oh, there was 6 against signal, but Jamie Ainscough has knocked on after cleaning up the football. That was definitely a forward pass for mine. He did well, Hancock, to regather position, and there's the knock-on there. Lost control of the football. It would have been 6 again for the home side.
Yeah, but they do get the feed, with the Broncos actually knocking on first, and here's Barnes now. 11 metres away from the Broncos line. O'Davis operating in the back line. This is Gordon, or Grogan. Barnes, Johns, Marquette off of the decoy. Tracy, they've got numbers! They might need them, they don't! Tracy brings the blue and red army to their feet.
Well, they've had all the early attack, Newcastle, and they've finally converted that pressure into points. And as Ray pointed out, the secret to this try was the amount of numbers they had out there. A heap of bodies in motion, plenty of decoys. And Darren Tracy straight through the tackle of Alan Langer, then skipped out of another tackle. Has every right to get up and promote the football if he wasn't held. You'll see here Alan Langer, a pretty ordinary attempt, bad position in the tackle. Kevin Walters missed as well, and Darren Tracy reaches out for his 6th of the season.
Andrew Johns, 146 this year, 2nd on the ladder. This kick coming around, so Andrew Johns adds a further 2 points. Newcastle 6, Brisbane 0. Brisbane's Julian O'Neill then restarts the 2nd chapter of this game. Grogan. Cormac out from dummy half, but Brisbane inside the 10.
The man under most pressure out there, Michael Egar, is doing a very good job for the Knights. He's come in for Matthew Johns, which was a big blow for the home side, but he's giving good options to Andrew Johns. He's getting on the other side of the ruck. The attack is flowing quite well. We're able to go both sides.
Johns finding the line. Another good kick. Just 5 metres from the halfway. McCormick taking the tap, and Harrigan to the halfway line. 2 Broncos surging in. As Harrigan plays it once more, and it goes through from Johns and over for Joint, and he dummied. I thought he should have given it, because the Broncos only had Michael Hancock and there were 4 Knights. Tracy now. Ainscough is with it. Rushes from 1. Unloads for Ashley Gordon. He angles back infield. Loses his footing on the 30-metre line. McCormack now. Away it comes from Peden and around the back for Egar, and then on for Barnes. And Barnes gets a pass back for Egar. Now for Johns. Johns, he tries to get away, but Andrew G dives on the loose ball. Saylor. Broncos likely to spread it on this tackle. They didn't, as Lazarus succumbs to the tackle in the centre of the park. 43 metres out from his own line.
And Ray, you know the Broncos are off their game a little bit when they don't have the capacity to spread the ball wide from a changeover. They're not getting people out wide.
Driscoll now. For Peter Ryan on the right, and he loses the ball. It will be a knock-on. It'll be a Newcastle loose head and feed. There's their relativity on the Winfield Cup table. 3rd and 4th. As Newcastle win the scrum, and Barnes is 41 metres out from his own line. He's been the centre of an attraction from a couple of Sydney clubs. Nathan Barnes, together with his centre partner, Jamie Ainscough, as they look towards next year. Robbie McCormack is 5 metres into Broncos area as O'Davis chimes in and goes on for Andrew Johns and a long pass. I didn't think a knock on, although Manson says there was. His rule came off the hand of Jamie Ainscough. Very hard to tell from this far away, but it appears that it has come off the hand on the replay. 4-3 the handling errors. Newcastle on the wrong side of that statistic. Broncos have, during the representative season, started poorly on more than one occasion as they come across the ground, and Lockyer links up with Renoff, and now, well, this has got to bring a penalty, and it will be against Egar. O'Davis is in the middle of it. The Broncos and the Knights come together. There hasn't really been a punch thrown yet, apart from a skirmish that is forming its own breakaway.
Yes, Julian O'Neill took great exception to the tackle. It was he and Robbie O'Davis. Looked like starting something that was going to develop. Fortunately, it didn't. Clumsy tackle there. Michael Egar grabbing the leg of the tackled player. Along with Robbie O'Davis, it ended up being a dangerous tackle. I wouldn't say a spear tackle, but definitely a dangerous tackle.
Brisbane, out of all of that, the penalty is reaffirmed by David Manson. The tap taken by John Driscoll, and G goes ahead. He offloads immediately for Peter Ryan, and there's a skirmish now. Paul Harrigan and Andrew G are going like two heavyweights, and Harrigan let go about 5 or 6. Well, there's no love lost between these two. G got Harrigan early with a high shot.
Yes, it's not the first time that they've come together, and I would imagine that both of these players will be dispatched to the sin bin. Paul Harrigan has got personal out there a couple of times this afternoon, and that's not a good thing. There he is, a swinging arm, little push from G. And Paul Harrigan did land the 3 or 4. But I would say we'll see both of them leave the field. Here's Harrigan getting 10 minutes now. He's off to the sin bin.
But Andrew G gets 10 as well. Brisbane get another penalty. And quite definitely Harrigan was the provocateur on that occasion. It was a square up from earlier on. Lazarus plays it dangerously close to the line. And this is Green. Driscoll looking for his captain, looking for the call. Langer goes around behind Saylor. Walters is pulled down in a desperate tackle there. They come back to the left. Lockyer. Centre of the park. 12 plays, 12 at the moment. Walters out for Renoff. Renoff. Too big. Too strong. He didn't need any pace. He just put Jamie Ainscough away as though he was swatting flies.
The first time the Brisbane side have been in the Newcastle 20-metre zone, they've been able to score a very soft try. Steve Renoff was pushing straight through Jamie Ainscough. There was nothing on out there. It was 2-on-2. Left him in his wake.
20 metres out, 10 in. Julian O'Neill with the vocal Knights crowd right behind him. O'Neill, it's wide. Brings a roar from the Novocastrians. But 6 points to 4. Newcastle over Brisbane. Most interesting game. It's had just about everything. It's had a fair share of mistakes, and there's another one. And Manson will put a scrum down. Lazarus said it was raked out. And share the anguish with Lazarus, and he's right. No doubt he's right. Scrum won by Newcastle. If Lazarus was right, they should have been enjoying a penalty, the Broncos, and Newcastle, they can't convert. That was a golden opportunity for them.
Grogan, it was a good pass to him from Ainscough. It just popped straight out. Whoever can get their act together is going to go a long way towards winning this football game, because at the moment they're doing plenty of things wrong.
Unhappy start to the game for the winger on the right, Brett Grogan. And I noticed another exchange between Ainscough and Renoff. They really are keeping a close eye upon one another as they work on the short side. This is the second rower, Green. Another example of the vast talent that Wayne Bennett has underneath his top 13, particularly in the back row department. Langer puts it low, and here's Grogan now. He tries to stand up Wendell Saylor. He went dangerously close to the sideline. O'Davis gets into dummy half and uses Barnes to take it back for Driscoll to make the tackle.
Well, I think if Grogan had gone over the sideline on that occasion, Malcolm really would have been getting the hook out, looking for another winger.
The big tow rope.
Oh, no doubt at all.
McCormack now, back, the joint, to try and push away from Smith he does, and Langer he does, and then it's with Ainscough, and Ainscough, he has got nasty. He thrust a player away. You can see the anger on his face. And now a penalty to Newcastle. It's holding against the Broncos, against Johnny Driscoll. Halfway line, centre of the ground. Andrew Johns is the attacker, Driscoll the tackler, and he hangs on too long for the likings of David Manson. 4-3 the penalties in favour of Brisbane. Two of the big men are in the sin bin to think about it. McCormack taking the tap. That's Paul Marquette.
That's a great run there. He's picked up 5-6 metres carrying Brisbane players as Johns finds Peden on the inside. Can't beat the tackle this time with Johnny Driscoll.
So they put together a set play, and Andrew Johns puts in a little kick, and players hit the upright, but Wendell Saylor is forced in goal.
Did a very good job, Wendell Saylor. A kick early in the tackle count is not something you expect on your own line. Plenty of decoy runners, crisscross. You see Saylor just in behind where he should be. He was able to react well enough there. Barnes nearly taking the post. O'Davis coming up with the good hold on Saylor.
But Newcastle come back with the football. O'Davis. He probably shouldn't be in this game. In fact, I think it had been decided that he wouldn't. And it's pretty obvious that Robbie is just doing his best, becoming a link between backs and forwards sometimes, and occasionally making the extra man. Away from McCormack and on for Johns, and inside for Egar. And he's brought down by Green. Centre of the ground, 19 out. Can they get it over the line again? Marquette did well. Johns supports. Barnes offers the decoy. Grogan goes for the corner. Grogan, he got it away. And Johns, he gets it down. It's a try. Newcastle get their second try. Well, Brett Grogan made up for his mistakes in one fell swoop.
Yes, that will do his confidence a world of good. Excellent work again from Paul Marquette. He's been able to offload under pressure a lot of times in this game. A good take from Grogan, taking on Wendell Saylor. The big step inside, attracts Renoff as well, and Andrew Johns stayed alive. Julian O'Neill trying desperately to stop him from putting the ball down. Couldn't do so.
Here's Andrew Johns, 5 metres in, 20 metres out. The chance to make it 12-4. Breeze is just across the flight path of this kick, aiding it, but across it. There it goes. He hits it gently, really. He didn't work on it at all. Oh, he's a craftsman. Newcastle 12, Brisbane 4. O'Neill, his kickoff bounces straight up into the waiting arms of Grogan.
There's been a change for Newcastle. Adam Muir, who was kept out of the Friday Test match against New Zealand with a virus, has come off the bench now. Billy Peden has been given a rest. Paul Harrigan and Andrew G about to come back into the fray. And Alan Cann, who's also on the sideline. So a lot of player movement since that try has been scored.
Back in the centre of the park, 10 metres from the halfway line. Tracy. McCormack keeps up the wrap. Over to the right. A short ball from Joint to Marquette. The ball put down. Joint knocks on. There's no use looking at the touch, Judge, because he was obscured by the frame of Chris Joint.
Well, with very time left on the clock before the half-time break, this isn't the kind of play you want to come up with in your own territory. Good chance here for Brisbane to put something on before half-time. They trail by 8. They'd love to get close.
There's Manson telling Langer he wants the ball put more in the tunnel. He must believe in the tooth fairy.
Here's Kevin Walters through a big gap. Here comes Renoff. He's off for the corner. Now Hancock. He scores. He's coming around to put it down and give his kicker a chance to pick up the 6-pointer. Beautiful backline play. Kevin Walters breaking into a gap. Renoff and Hancock capping off a beautiful backline move.
And Kevin Walters doing a great job here. Very simple. A little dummy. Put the defenders in two minds. Barnes came up with a grab. It was ineffective. Renoff looms on the outside. Grogan coming from the far wing. So too O'Davis there. Grogan beaten by the Hancock run. Beats another couple of players inside Egar.
O'Neill with the conversion from close proximity. And there's the half-time break. Newcastle 12, Brisbane 10. Welcome back. Second half now of the Newcastle-Brisbane game from Marathon Stadium. With Newcastle holding a slender lead. One that could have been a much more comfortable lead for them, but that was eroded by their own misfortune, their own mistakes just in front of the break.
Both sides were pretty ordinary first half, Ray. You must say, too many mistakes. They didn't control the football, and we can see that from the times that they've been able to hold it through for 6 tackles. Only 4 and 3 occasions, and the missed tackles, 17-11. That's an enormous amount for the Broncos as Ainscough takes the 32 out. So really, whatever team can get their ball control together and their defence right, they'll win this game.
Harrigan spent 10 minutes in the sin bin in the first half. Been involved in a couple of nasty incidents. A kick down the ground off the boot of Andrew Johns saw a tackle come in. It wasn't late. And Michael Hancock is put down by 3 of the Newcastle Knights. It brings a roar from the crowd as Julian O'Neill is able to get it outside the 20-metre line. And John Driscoll, a dummy half, unloads for Alan Cann, who came off the fresh reserves bench today. Newcastle without Matthew Johns in particular. Adam Muir started the match from the bench as well. No Mark Glanville in the side. He's out injured. As Glenn Lazarus was brought down a few metres on his own side of the halfway. Back now for Alan Langer to kick down towards the wing occupied by Ashley Gordon. Talking of wingers, Paul Hoff was unable to take the field for the Brisbane side today. As Gordon was lassoed and brought down to ground by the number 11 Peter Ryan. Another example of Robbie O'Davis being other than healthy today. Apparently a phone call was made to tell Robbie, look, you're going to have to play. He wasn't going to, but it's not the real Robbie O'Davis we're watching. Courageous, yes, but not the classical fullback that represented Queensland and Australia.
Some strong defence there on Paul Marquette, and the news coming out of the Brisbane sheds is not good. Andrew G has a broken bone in his hand as Muir gets a good ball to Ainscough. Got Gordon, back to Ainscough. Keeps it alive, back to Gordon, who's got some space down the sideline and support.
And inside the pass for Tracy. He gets his second try. That is sensational.
That's unbelievable stuff. It was almost slow motion down the sideline. The interplay between Jamie Ainscough and Ashley Gordon. Tremendous work here. The long pass from Andrew Johns. Lovely ball there from Adam Muir over the top. Ainscough to Gordon. Gordon to Ainscough. Ainscough to Gordon. and off he goes down the sideline. Wrong foots. Michael Hancock and Darren Tracy, a great job to be in support on the inside. Wendell Saylor can't stop the try being scored, so the perfect start to the second half for the Knights.
20 metres in. 20 metres out, and he strikes it perfectly. Now, they're smiling again. 18 to 10.
The Stockton Knights 18 lead the Broncos 10 here at Marathon. Andrew Johns, sponsored by Planet Fitness, the gymnasium for the Knights. Workout.
Chris Joint, up fairly high there by Langer and Green, but they bring him to ground, 15 out.
McCormack now, the Barnes.
Just saying before that try was scored, Ray, that Andrew G won't be back in this game. Broken bone in his hand.
And Davis in from the back, keeps it alive. That is Tracy. What a game he's having. Johns now sweeps it across the park. 17 is Egar. Renoff makes the tackle. Barnes comes away from dummy half. Renoff trails across from marker. Not required. Can makes the tackle. They go back to a wide blindside, and Johns kicks. Hancock falling back. O'Neill on his own 10-metre line. Gordon and Ainscough combining to make the tackle. 25 metres out from the Broncos line. Newcastle have only beaten the Broncos once in 11 meetings. And that was in this corresponding match last year at Marathon Stadium.
Well, they trail by 8 at the moment, and they've got plenty to do as Wendell Saylor gets outside. Barnes comes up with a good tackle. No, he needs help from Egar. Very strong run from Saylor.
43 metres out then from the Newcastle line. From Kevin Walters across for Alan Can. Can wrestled down under 4 Newcastle defencemen. A quick play the ball. And Driscoll showing it to Lazarus before taking them on himself again. Langer just casting an eye across the defence line. Now he gets the kick in. It came off Brisbane and Newcastle, and then back for Newcastle. This is Muir, and a penalty goes to Newcastle. He's put him in the sin bin. Wendell Saylor is the first to suffer the wrath. Manson's not happy with something Lazarus has said. He wants Lazarus to toe the line. Manson warned both captains earlier.
Another change out there for Brisbane is Scott Blacker in 15 out on the wing. Driscoll's left the field. Andrew Johns now will find touch in the Brisbane half.
Cormack taking the tap on the halfway line, and Harrigan taking it ahead, trying to take Alan Can with him. McCormack on. Johns, second man, away to Joint. And Joint is put down by Langer. The Brisbane cause becoming a little bit more urgent now. Tracy. 3 tries to 2. Converted try added to the half-time total. They're at it again, Ainscough and Gordon. Ainscough plays it inside the 20-metre line. Across from Johns, a long pass, and Muir stuck his hand out and knocks on. Muir is saying, I didn't touch it.
He's saying that to Andrew Johns. Andrew obviously wanted the pass to let go. Nathan Barnes could just about have come up with that play if it hadn't have been touched by Muir.
Davis comes from the field, and that doesn't surprise. And Robbie Ross, a very competent fullback, goes into the side. He can play in pretty much any position in the back line. No fullback back on this occasion. And it would have been an opportunity for Brisbane to kick. Not the first time they've done it from a scrum on their own end of the park. particularly with Ross only just out there.
That's why it's very important for the blindside wing. At that time it was Grogan to be ready for that. He's got to be covering in behind the scrum. There's a knock-on found against Brisbane once again. Darren Smith blowing up to the touch judge. And Chris Joint. It's the accolades of his teammates.
Just looking at Paul Harrigan as we watch the replay of this knock-on call by David Manson. Harrigan gathered his forwards together. He embraced them and encouraged them to give him something more. Johns now dummied on the inside. I'm not sure who to, because there was nobody there. And the ball played by Bill Peden. Back for Andrew Johns, and across now. And this is Egar. Gordon. Back towards the centre of the park. Langer and Walters required to make quite a few tackles. As Johns goes around, he looks for Ainscough, who finds Grogan, and Grogan is pulled down. Just inside the 20-metre line, this is the last tackle, and Johns goes across the ground. They're all onside, including Gordon. He bats the ball down. Egar flicks the ball in, but he's into touch. The turnover.
Tremendous work there from Michael Hancock. It was a good kick. All the chases were onside, but Hancock was able to come up with the tackle. Right across the other side of the field. Ball knocked back by Gordon. Egar cleaned up, and Hancock shows his strength.
Lazarus. Lockyer now, just outside the 20-metre line. Wendell Saylor about to come back out of the sin bin as Green is wrapped up. 18 points to 10 in favour of the home side. Langer, a catch and a pass in one motion. Then Lockyer did well under pressure. O'Neill comes back to the 20. Smith went back to put himself onside and then kicks it out on the full. Things not looking all that good for Brisbane. Time is starting to get away from them.
The one thing about Brisbane is that they can score points quickly. If Newcastle can contain Alan Langer and Kevin Walters, they'll win the game. Good tackle there from Steve Renouf on Michael Egar.
There's Tracy now, angling towards the corner. Then Barnes and McCormack handle, and then Egar gets a pass from McCormack. The ball goes to ground, and it's a penalty. It was knocked out, according to Manson, by Brisbane, and one of their players in an offside position fell on it.
This came off the hand of Darren Smith, ruling by the referee. Andrew Johns getting the football, but I think the cool heads will prevail, and they'll kick for goal.
To put them 10 points in front. And can Brisbane come back from that? He's only 15 metres out as he takes this penalty shot. He keeps his record perfect. 20 points to 10 in front of 29,000 odd at Marathon. 29,359 to be precise. That's an enormous crowd, isn't it? In this day and age. And let me say that that is bordering on capacity for Newcastle. They had to close the gates, and a knock-on will give Brisbane an opportunity. Is the gate being closed on them, or is it about to squeeze open again? Langer feeds his scrum. They wedge it in there, trying to catch a penalty. Walters goes over for Lockyer. Lockyer stands, and Renouf comes back in. He bumps away from one, shoves away from another, and 12 metres out from the line. Renouf hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but what he's done has been classy. This is O'Neill. Plath is a dummy half. Across now for Green. Green thought about passing. Saylor is lurking behind to play the ball. In fact, he's probably playing in the second row position now. Is Wendell Saylor, since he came back from the sin bin. Lazarus plays it. The line is 10 metres in front of Langer. And Langer is put down by Harrigan. The last tackle, and Johnny Plath takes the tackle. It's a penalty. Brisbane get the penalty. What I thought was dumb play by Plath. In fact, he was trying to suck out the penalty, and he got it. He's given his side 6 more shots. Lazarus, and now Langer. McCormack makes the tackle. Johnny Plath in 27. Green in 35. Peden working overtime with Harrigan. Langer. Cross now for O'Neill into the back line. Tries to stand up the forwards, and now Walters is put away. Newcastle get their line together. Broncos working on the blind side through Darren Smith. Smith is 7 metres out from the line. They've got the entire extremity of the ground, and they look like they're going to use it. They've gone out for Lockyer. The pass goes to ground. It went backwards. This is Blacker. Now Walters. Walters back in for Saylor. And Wendell is put away. Great defence by Newcastle. This is the 5th tackle now. Walters gets a kick in. It's fielded by Grogan. And Grogan will take the tackle on the first for Newcastle.
Well, that's great defence. Brisbane throwing everything at their opposition, but in fact they were forced back, and you've got to take your hat off to Robbie McCormack. He just kept coming up, rushing up, putting pressure on. Was even prepared to get to the kicker there and force him into an ordinary one, and that was an easy clean-up for Grogan. Here's the other winger, Gordon Hurt.
There was a groan here for a high shot. The crowd appealed for a penalty. And Grogan, in fact, is it Grogan or Ashley Gordon? It is Ashley Gordon.
Number 12 is Alan Can.
He's been motionless since the tackle.
Ashley Gordon is...
The penalty goes to the Newcastle Knights. And on the halfway line, the tap will be taken. McCormack. He's played strong, as Peter Sterling pointed out. This is Harrigan. He's put a couple of things into his game in the second half, Paul Harrigan, that personally I hope he goes on with. Things like taking it to the line and offloading. Giving them some reason to guess what he's going to do. Adam Muir. He appealed to the coach earlier today to let him play. And I think the coach is glad that he did concede to him. This is Paul Marquette. And McCormack on for Johns, and then a cut-out pass for Ainscough. Gordon, he tippy-toes down the sideline. Oh, look at this. Have a look at this, will you? Ainscough scores. Ashley Gordon. I can't believe it.
Oh, Ashley Gordon and Jamie Ainscough, and that try was scored because their defence was so good at the other end of the field. Beautiful pass here from Andrew Johns, cuts out a player. That created the overlap. But Ainscough looked as though he'd thrown the ball too soon. And the beautiful footwork of Ashley Gordon. Again, wrong-footed Michael Hancock, and the pass back inside might have been some sort of speculator, but it found the mark.
Andrew Johns, 4 out of 4. You'd reckon they've got this match sewn right up now. And Johns with a fine average. 82%. Strikes it. Out she goes. I was about to say he's pushed it too wide, but you don't say that with Andrew Johns. He brings it back on the string. 26-10. They love him here. Love him everywhere, really, in the world of rugby league, Andrew Johns, because he's a class act on the way up. Here he is in position to field the shallow restart.
Yes, it didn't work. Another new face out there for Newcastle, Stuart Collins in 28. Will partner the chief up front, and there is the Newcastle captain, tackled 42 out from his own line. Here's the youngster. It's his first touch. He's wrestled to the ground just in his own territory.
Johns now kicks ahead. They're all on side. Ainscough leads the chase. Julian O'Neill, some work to do. Oh, that's alpha material for Wayne Bennett.
Smart kick from Andrew John, strong-footed Julian O'Neill. He was looking for the kick down into the corner. He got the bad bounce. He juggled the football, and Ainscough was there to take him straight away.
Well, they're going to savour this victory, Newcastle. Either 1 out of 11 prior to today.
It's going to be a great victory, Ray, when you consider the problems they've had with their personnel coming into this match, and the fact that they copped a very, very harsh hiding last Friday night at Bruce Stadium at the hands of Canberra. Well, they've done a great job to regroup from that, but also get through the problems of who was actually going to take the field for them this afternoon.
Johns on and away. Face ball delivered by Egar. Barnes works with Grogan. Grogan, that's off the feet. This will be a try. Yes, Egar. Egar gets the try for Newcastle. It'll give Andrew Johns an opportunity to equal his own record for points in a season.
Well, unbelievable stuff. The one thing about Newcastle this year, they are entertainment plus. Simple backline move here. The cutout pass from Egar. Nathan Barnes, who's been great this afternoon, attracted 2 defenders. Passed back in from Grogan. Was deliberately towed ahead by Michael Egar. Nobody in front. Grounds the ball beautifully. The game wasn't over before that try. It is now. You can see Renouf attracting both. Blacker and Renouf attracted by the one player. That opened the hole up on the inside. Egar very quick thinking to keep the ball on the boot.
So Andrew Johns holds the record for most points in a season for the club at 162. He set that last year. Will he equal it today with 16 personal points? 20 metres out, 12 metres in from touch, and he's done it. He's done it. He's equalled his own record. And here's the siren. It is all over. The Newcastle Knights have beaten the Brisbane Broncos 32 points to 10. A match probably highlighted by Andrew Johns, 16 personal points. The Newcastle number 7, Andrew Johns, takes out the Peter Sterling man of the match. Let's have a look at the other round results from this round 15. North Sydney over the Roosters yesterday. The Reds over Illawarra. Cronulla defeating Canberra in one of the shocks of the year. The Bulldogs over the Tigers, and the Cowboys over Western Suburbs. Penrith defeated St George today. Manly over Parramatta. And South Sydney got it together in defeating the Crushers, while Auckland thrashed the Gold Coast. And Newcastle here defeating Brisbane only for the 2nd time in history. Well, now, that's how it looks at the end of round 15. The top 8, Manly unbeaten, and then Newcastle, Canberra. A gap then to Brisbane, Cronulla, Western Suburbs, the Bulldogs and North Sydney well in contention for the top 8, together with Penrith, the Warriors, the Roosters, the Reds, and then only a glimmer of hope for St George and the Tigers. Well, that takes us out from here at the Marathon Stadium in Newcastle. We hope you've enjoyed it. From here, it's goodbye for now.